Nowadays, there's a lot of iPad models, from the palm-sized iPad mini to the humongous-sized 12.9-inch iPad Pro. But does the base model, the 10.2-inch iPad, differentiate itself from the market that is already crowded and saturated with tablets that is we know all over? Well, let's find out. Hey guys, this is Chester here. You guys are watching our channel at Chester and Unboxing. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the 2020 version of the iPad. This is actually the 8th generation. You know, Apple keeps calling it the new iPad, the new iPad. Yeah, it's not really new when you keep repeating for 8 times. But anyway, the size of the iPad has actually been increased to 10.2 inch. So previously it was 9.7. So although the number difference may seem small, you know, it's about half an inch if I'm not wrong, but the difference is actually real. Like if you compare it with a old iPad, the difference is actually discernible. So this is actually the new 10.2 inch. It actually runs on the A12 CPU, A12 Bionic to be exact. So this is actually an upgrade over the 7th gen. I really look forward to this model because it actually upgraded over to the A12 model. So the A12 CPU itself isn't really new because right now the iPhone 12 they use the A14, but it is still a very potent CPU even in modern times. The particular CPU runs on 2 big and 4 small cores. So the 2 big cores run on 2.5 GHz and the 4 small cores are small, so therefore efficiency cores. So combined together, they actually give you the 10-hour battery life that Apple is claiming to have. The CPU is a 64-bit architecture and it also has a 6-core GPU inside. So it's actually quite good enough for, you know, most tasks. It runs on the iPad OS 14. It has 3 GB RAM, and this particular model is actually the base model, so it has 32 gigs of space. This particular model has, as with all iPads, this has bottom stereo firing speakers. So later I'll point it out for you. And the 10 hours battery is actually derived from the 32 watt-hour capacity that it has inside. Alright, so the camera has a front 1.2 megapixels and the rear has an 8 megapixel. But anyway, without further ado, let's open this up. So as you can see, it's still sealed. Yep, iPad 8th generation Wi-Fi model. Yep, this is not the cellular version. So why not? Because I already have a SIM-only phone plan. So I don't really need the cellular version because I can just tether over from my phone. Alright, here the unboxing. Here the ASMR goodness. Anyway, alright, let's open this up. It's been a good 3 years since I've last opened an iPad. But anyway, here you go. Ta-da! Alright. This is actually bigger. Like, I will appreciate the bigger in size, but we'll talk about this in a short moment. Let's take a look at the accessories first. Designed by Apple in California. Inside here you'll find the standard suite of manuals and the starting guides. So if you are using the iPad for the first time or using iPad OS, it's highly recommended that you see this manual because it tells you how to sleep, how to wake, Touch ID, Apple Pencil, Control Center, dock and app switcher tips and so on and so forth. But if you're like me who have been using iOS for a long time, it's just reiterated stuffs. Alright, other than that, you have your standard Apple stickers. On an iPad, you get 2 of them. So if you're an Apple fanboy, you can, you know, paste it in your bag and everything for swag points. Anyway, new to the iPad for this 8th generation is actually the charger. So traditional iPads, they actually use a 15-watt charger that is actually USB-A to be specific, which is the traditional USB. So the modern one, this one, it actually is something new. So press the button here. Okay. Sorry, not press, you lift it off. Yeah, and then you just like that. Yeah, so let me show you again. Just pull it up. Yep, and you automatically switch. And this is something new. So on the 8th gen iPad, it actually uses the USB-C Type-C connector. So what that does is basically it is more ubiquitous, so you can actually use this to connect to charge other devices as well. Talking about USB-C, so the cable actually is something new to the generation. A lightning connector to USB-C. I can't really see. Yeah, USB-C. Alright, this iPad unfortunately it still uses the lightning connector, which is kind of dumb. Like, everybody has been telling Apple to move over to USB-C. Even their new iPad Air and the existing iPad Pros have already moved to USB-C. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see the next generation change over to USB-C. So we have a standard USB-C to C type connector, which should be even more ubiquitous. That's it for the box. So yeah, this whole piece right here is just blank. Anyway, moving on. So we have the tablet, the actual tablet itself. So this is the space gray version. So let me open it in front of you guys. Slide it out. So beautiful. Alright, take a look at it. Take a look at my ring light. Look at my laptop. Look at my desktop. Oh yeah, baby. Yep. So this is actually the iPad itself. So I'm very careful. I do not want to drop it. Touch wood. Alright. So yes, this iPad has the smart connector on it. So you can actually connect your keyboards and everything. It has lightning connector, as we mentioned, the dual, the stereo rear facing speakers, the home button, which I really love, by the way. This is Touch ID enabled, so yes, you can actually use a fingerprint, which I still love over Face ID. Call me a traditionalist and everything. So yeah, this is the front 1.2 megapixel camera. This is the rear 8 megapixel camera. This is the lock button, and this is your volume up, volume down, and I believe that is it. Yeah, very simple, and the standard iPad. Very good. Yeah, I really love the space gray color. I used to own a MacBook Pro, space gray, so I really like the color because of its anodized aluminium. Alright, so the weight of this particular model, the base model, this Wi-Fi version, is 490 grams, so it's pretty light. Alright, in terms of resolution, we have 2160 by 1620. So this equates to about 264 ppi, that is pixels per inch. So basically that amount determines how sharp the tablet, how sharp the device is. I mean, if you do that, confirm you're gonna see the pixels, right? But unfortunately, the iPad and extension, the iPad Air, only runs on a 60Hz panel. So I personally love high refresh rate. Like for example, this monitor, this is a Xiaomi monitor. It has a 144Hz refresh rate, so it's buttery smooth, the animations and everything. So if there's one thing I would like to see them improve on, maybe, instead of 120, you leave the best for the pros, right? Maybe 90Hz in the future, please, pretty please. Yeah, it supports the Apple Pencil, so separately of course, the Apple Pencil, but it only supports the first generation. Better than nothing anyway. So you can actually plug the Apple Pencil to charge it, and then you can use it. If you're an artist, you can actually use it to draw and everything. Alright, last but not least, let's check out the physical dimensions of this iPad. So the length, it is about 25 cm. So for the American folks, it's at about 9+ inches. Width is 17.5 cm, so that's about 7 inches. And finally, the thickness, well, that is one thin, 8 cm. Yeah, give or take around there. Alright, so when you turn the tablet on, let's see, let's do it in front of you guys. So one thing about the iPad that it does not have in comparison to the iPad Air is the iPad does not have a fully laminated display. So what that means is you can't really see in camera, but basically you can see there's an air gap. Like I can see it very clearly. There is an air gap between the screen and the actual glass itself. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, you can see a little bit there. You can see a bit of reflection there. Yeah. So what that means is it does not look as realistic as real life as compared to the Air or the Pro. So whereas the Air and the Pro is fully laminated, so the glass is really right up next to the LCD. So you really can see the image is right there popping up in your face. Alright, so here's a little bit of a size comparison between the new iPad, the 10.2 inch, and the old 9.7 inches one. So do take note, this is naked, no cover, no nothing. So this currently has a screen protector and a clear cover. Alright, so as you can see here, you can immediately see that it is physically bigger by a little bit. Alright, it is also a little wider. Let's see here. Yep, it is also a little wider. But more importantly, you can actually see the bezels are actually thinner. Like the bezels here is like, maybe my fingernail, but this is about, half of my fingernail. And last but not least, if I'm not wrong, no, I do not. No, I do not want voice over. Should I double tap this? Anyway, yes, it does come with a headphone jack. So for you loyalists, yes, perfect. I love the headphone jack. That being said, this is still a very competent device even in this year, because not everyone needs the full capabilities of the Pro or even some of the capabilities of the Air. Most folks just want a tablet that just works. For example, for musicians, they would want the iPad to display their lyrics, when they're performing, when you're doing that, you don't need all the power, you don't need quad core, you don't need quad core, you don't need 8 cores, you don't need all the fluid refreshes, you don't need the multiple cameras, the LiDAR sensor. No, you don't need any of that. You just want something that works. You just want something that works, you just want something that doesn't give you problems. Alright, so with that being said, the iPad is going to work very, very well for majority of the folks out there who doesn't need professional work. That sums up our unboxing and first look at the iPad 10.2 inch, the base model for 2020. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. We do unbox and review different stuffs, like from computer stuffs to tech stuffs to even Nerf as well, occasionally. Alright, so that's all for today. I'm Chester. See you guys.